gentlemen, freaks, fans, and friends, it's the Pope of Plastic here in Harry's Hobbies. I'm back at Harry's. Last week we were at Hog Heaven. I did a little special tour because they're closing down. Unfortunately, it's always sad when a hobby shop, is going to close, right, Steve?
That was a good hobby shop, too.
It still
I
is.
used to deliver.
He's open until the 17th of July, I think, is the date. So he's going to be having some deep sales. So if you want to get over there and pick up some great stuff, go to Hog Heaven in Sturbridge Village.
Right to the west of the village.
Absolutely, and then you can spend the whole day there in Sturbridge. There's lots to see. We always say that here in New England, you're a stone's throw away from some history, great pizza, great Italian food, the beaches.
Fried clams.
Fried clams. Who doesn't love fried clams? I love fried clams. Oh, Steve, I will eat a million fried clams.
Now, do you put tartar sauce?
I love extra tartar sauce. Same thing with fish and chips.
Oh,
which we have great fish and chips here.
And vinegar.
And, a little vinegar on the fries. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, Steve. Steve, today is a very special unboxing. Okay. Unfortunately, I know you coming to see on vintage unboxings. That's normally what we do, but today is not a vintage unboxing. Today is a brand new release, an absolutely brand new release, meaning I am one of the first people in the world to receive it. And this is from my great friends at Zoukie Mura in Japan. And what a great company. I love these people. In fact, I'm going to be going to the national model show, the IPMS show down in Virginia on August 6th through the 9th. I believe those are the dates, and I'm going to be a special guest of Zoukie Mura. And I'm going to do some lives from their booth. I'm going to also try to bring a couple Zoukie Mura built models that I've done. But anyway, they asked me if they could send me a kit, and anytime Zoukie Mura says, "Can we send you a kit?" I say, hold on a second. Absolutely, you can send me a kit. In fact, right now, they sent me another kit, 148 scale F4 Phantom Wild Weasel. And it's the first 148 scale kit I've done of theirs. And it is absolutely fantastic. It is the best 148 scale Phantom I have ever seen. The detail is better than any 132nd scale out on the market, and I'm really enjoying building it, and that'll be done here in the next I would say in the next week. I'll have that one wrapped up. But they sent me this kit and they said you cannot show it until we tell you can show it. So I got this kit about a month ago, and I've been sitting on it. I haven't even said anything to anybody about it, and today is the day that I am allowed to share the newest 132nd scale Zoukie Mura Super Wing Series kit. And let me show you what it is now, because it is exciting. It is, ladies and gentlemen, the HO229B Horton. And if you know anything about Zoukie Mura, this isn't the first Horton that they have done, Steve. They kind of, in fact, this is how I found out about Zoukie Mura. I was in a modeling forum. No, I was on X, on Twitter, or Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. And somebody had built one of the models, and I was looking, I was like, man, what an amazing model that is. And I was like, I wonder who put that model out. And I saw this, this name, Zoukie Mura. I looked them up online, and I was astonished by the depth of 132nd scale models that they had. And then I looked into the detail that they had. Then I read some reviews about them, and just the people were just going crazy about the people that knew about the company and had built the models before. It was just, there was nothing but incredible compliments. So I reached out to Zoukie Mura and I said, hey, I build models professionally, and I just heard about your company, and I would love to review one of your models on my channel. And astonishingly, unlike some other model companies that I won't mention on this, because I'm not going to tarnish this video with other model companies, they immediately got back to me and said, we would love to send you a model for you to build. And they did. They sent me the one. They let me choose any model I wanted. Steve, how nice is that? They said,
Fantastic.
choose whatever you want. What do you think? And I looked at, I went back through the website, which is a great website. You can actually find them through Volks, Volks, Volks USA, or you can look up Zoukie Mura online, and you can go and see their flagship website, which is out of Japan. And I went on and I looked through all the models, and it was hard to decide, but I wanted to do a BF 109. I'm a big fan of BF 109. So I said, could you send me the BF 109? They did. I built that BF 109. It was one of the most, in fact, it was the most incredible 1/32 scale model I've ever had the privilege to build. And I couldn't wait to do another one. I posted all the pictures. Then they sent me the F4 Phantom. Then they sent me their new Japanese fighter, which I haven't gotten to yet. And then they just sent me this HO229B. And this is, you're going to be, if you've never seen a Zoukie Mura kit, today is the day. Today is the day that you're going to understand why I hold them in such high regard in the model kit business. And I say this a lot, is that when you see a company like this producing models like this, you know that this is a company that loves what they do. They love the history. They love the detail. They love everything that goes into producing an amazing model kit. And it shows here, right here on this Horton. Now, Steve, come over here and check out some of the, of course, you've got the finished model over here. They show you, a couple different versions. And if you're looking how to spell Zoukie Mura, there it is right there, and I'll also have it in the information here in the video. But look at the detail on the box. Now their packaging is second to none. Some of the best packaging for any model company in the world. But look at the detail, Steve. Look how detailed this model is. It is museum quality. And now let's open this up. And the box art is absolutely fantastic. As a former packaging guy, packaging is essential to selling a product. You can sell just about anything if you've got good packaging. You could put a turd in the box, and as long as it's got good packaging, people will buy it. But that's not the case with Zoukie Mura, because Zoukie Mura, there is no detail that they don't, that they've overlooked. They don't overlook any details. So that's a beautiful, nice, sturdy cardboard packaging. Now look at all of this, Steve. Now you wonder, why is there so much clear parts? Well, I'll tell you, because there's so much detail inside the aircraft that they give you the option of using the clear parts so you can see everything inside. Now, listen, I'm not a fan of clear parts. I mean, it's just not, I do for the canopy and things like that, for crying out loud. But as far as the aircraft, I believe, I haven't built this yet, but I believe I'll be able to remove a lot of these panels. So I will paint it like the actual aircraft was. I will weather it and everything else, and I will leave it to where you can have the panels off. That's just the way I like to build. So let's look at some of these parts. I have not opened any of this stuff, but we're going to open today. We're going to open, I don't think I'm going to open all the clear parts. We'll be here all day long. But let's look at the quality here. Zoukie, look at the clarity of,
amazing.
Look at how amazing that is. There's no distortion. Everything is molded beautifully, beautifully, beautifully.
That is nothing like the old Revell monogram Phantom Mustang.
Oh no, you don't think so? That was you don't think that was on par with this?
This is, I've never seen so much clear in a kit.
And now these are body panels. These are not like windshields or anything like that. These are all body panels.
Zoom in on some of these. In beautiful clarity.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful clarity. Let's see what all they got here in clear. I'm just going to put these bags over here. So, we're gonna have the instructions are in the bottom, I believe. They must be. I don't think they would not. No, the instructions are in the bottom. Normally we would do the instruction first because they're normally on top, but in this case they are not. Now here's more body panels. So
now they frosted.
They frosted that. Very interesting. That is interesting. Very cool. I wonder why they would do it frosted if they're going to do it clear. You know what I mean? But I mean,
would frosted
but
gives the if you were going to paint it, would the frosted
well,
plastic
I know it would hold
give it more tooth?
Yes, it would give it more tooth to hold the paint, but if you're going to put a frosted clear body panel in it, you're not really going to see the detail anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just don't I mean, I don't care what color the plastic is. I'm going to paint it anyway. I was just, out of curiosity. But look at beautiful, all the screw heads in here. I mean, they're just incredible. I mean, the molding process on this is just insane. The engineering that they put into their models is unlike, I mean, I've built a lot of models, obviously. I've seen a lot of models, obviously. I've unboxed a lot of models, obviously. I have yet to find anybody that is in the same ballpark as Zoukie Mura. Their molding is absolutely astonishing. There's no distortion whatsoever. Now, what I will warn you on clear parts like this is that when you're trimming all these little nubs off and trimming it from the sprue, do not trim it right next to the part because they tend to crack. So you want to be careful when you're trimming clear parts, especially like when you're doing a canopy or anything like that, any glass that has to go in, even on a model car kit. If you trim too close to the glass, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a crack. So you want to just trim back on the sprue and then really carefully go in and trim away, and then once you get it close to the body panel, then you can just sand it down, so you're not running into the possibility of cracking the clear. Not that it really matters. I mean, I'm going to be painting this, so it really doesn't matter too much because I could just sand it and fill it if I needed to. But again, just beautiful. I mean, I love seeing the clear parts. It's just amazing. This is going to be a beautiful model. Let's just open all the clear parts first before we get into. Well, these I'm not going to open because. But look at that. Now this is what this was molded with a slide mold. This is not, so most model companies, if you got this part, you'd be gluing these two parts together. A slide mold, the injection, they're able to, it's really hard to explain here, but a slide mold allows you to do complex pieces in one piece. And to see this done like this is astonishing. This takes a lot of expertise to be able to do this right here.
Oh, that's an interesting tidbit. I've been in the hobby business for 43 years, and you're always learning something new.
And here's another piece, same thing, done with as a slide molded piece. It's not a clamshell. It's if I think correctly, it's not a clamshell mold, where you have one piece here and one piece here, and then they come together. That is just amazing molding technology right there. That is just incredible. Look at that. Here, I'll open this one up because it's not that.
And they don't double up on the sprues. Every sprue has its own bag.
Yes.
Very nice touch.
Which is great. And the other thing I look at is this combination of molded perfectly clear and then frosted.
That is really cool.
Isn't that amazing? Same thing here. That is really, really cool. Man, there's a lot of clear in this.
That is really nice.
Isn't that neat? And, you know, just more. These are just all the body panels are molded in clear. And here's your. Here, I'll open up more than the last one. This is the bottom, I believe. I think it's the bottom. I don't know. I never built a Horton. The only Horton I knew was Horton Hears a Who.
Oh, isn't that good?
Yeah, it was great. In
That
fact,
was- yeah.
my son has the DVD of it, and it's a great
Isn't
DVD
that-
to watch. Horton
yes.
Hears the Who. They actually made
That's right.
like a CGI movie out of it. But I love this. If you can see this, it's all frosted, but they left the light polished.
Mhm.
Isn't that cool? In the control panels.
Now, are the clear parts, the plastic on a clear part, is it more brittle?
It's brittle. It's not as soft. The makeup of the plastic, I don't know that, but it is a definitely totally different makeup for clear parts. It's a rigid plastic versus a soft, kind of flexible plastic. That's why I was saying you need to be careful when you're trimming it because they will crack. Unlike this, when you trim it, it doesn't crack. It's a soft, it's a soft plastic. And Zoukie Mura's plastic, the compliments keep on coming. Their plastic is the perfect blend of the durometer of their plastic is just absolutely perfect. It's soft enough that you can carve it, you can sand it, you can do whatever you need to do. It's easy to trim away, yet it's still strong enough to support the surrounding parts, and you have enough flex to where the parts, you're not running into the problem of the parts breaking or snapping a lot of times, because there's enough play in the parts to be able to get them to pressure fit, to especially when we're talking about vintage kits here all the time. Vintage plastic over the years gets very hard. Sometimes it's super hard to even drill into, and you can break drill bits and stuff like that. But this plastic is absolutely beautiful. But this one thing about Zoukie Mura's Super Wing Series kits is we got all of the ribbing and everything, all of the ribbing inside the airplane. So, which makes it museum quality. So when you're displaying the model, you can display it, you can build it with all the panels off, and you just see the skeleton, of the aircraft. A lot like a Maserati bird cage.
Beautiful.
Remember
car.
the Maserati bird
Type
cage?
60, 61.
Yes, but you remember the
Beautiful.
frame on the Maserati bird cage? That's why they
Incredible.
called it the bird cage. This is the same kind of. This plane reminds me of the Maserati bird cage. I'm going to get to something interesting. We'll open some of this when I get to something really interesting. But look at all the framework. Even, this is probably for part of the canopy, I would think. And then I love that they provide you with two different sets of control panels, instrument panels. One clear if you want to do the decals, and then one just injected molded so you can hand paint your control panels, which I love to do. I like hand painting my my instrument panels. Maybe they're not absolutely perfect like a decal, but to me, hand painting instrument panels shows the artistry of the builder, and it's fun to look at. I think, at least for me, when I get done doing one, it's fun to look at and go, wow, that's really cool, I mean, and it looks pretty realistic, and I just enjoy painting control panels. But it looks like we even got a little parachute here. See that? But the molding is exceptional.
Now, with the clear and the regular parts,
Yeah.
the builder going to need
Special glue.
very different glue for it.
No, a lot of people, I get that question a lot. What's the best glue to glue clear parts? There's companies out there like testers who make what they call canopy glue. What I will tell you about canopy glue is it's very weak. It doesn't glue very well. It takes a while to set up. So it moves around on you. So I like using, believe it or not, the easiest glue to use for clear glass, which is in my opinion, the best to use, is Tamiya Thin. So I'll set the canopy, I'll get it, or the glass in exactly the way I want it. Then usually from the reverse side, I will go in with Tamiya Thin, and I will just go into the corners, and I will put just a tiny, tiny drop in the corners. And what happens with Tamiya Thin, if you don't know, Tamiya Thin is it's the consistency of water almost. So what it will do is if you tap it in all four corners, the glue will follow the seam all the way around, okay? And it dries fairly fast. And it will only stay in that little, unless you put too much, and then it'll drip and then you're screwed. So you have to be very, very careful. You just put a little tiny bit of Tamiya Thin in the four corners or wherever it sticks to the fuselage or whatever, and just go in and just touch a little bit in there. Don't touch it, let it sit. Once you find out that it's firmed up, go to the back side again. Usually that's what I do. And then I will go in and I will just kind of paint a little bit more on the edges, and then you're usually pretty good. Sometimes I will use, if I have a more difficult part that needs a little more adhesion, I will just use regular glue. I prefer using Faller's Expert. That's my favorite normal plastic glue. Is if you were a kid using Tester's glue. Faller's would be similar to that, but it comes in a what do you call it? A little container that has a needle, and you squeeze it. Now, the company that used to produce the greatest glue was Tester's. They had Model Master, which was the greatest glue ever, and it was a very brilliant move to discontinue the Model Master glue and then move it to a different container, where if you buy the Tester's glue in the black bottle with the needle, it's not even a needle, it's impossible to get out. You can forget it. Just cut the container open and pour it into something else, because the bottle, it was the dumbest marketing move in the history of the model building business, and it was dumb, and that's what they did. So I moved to Faller's Expert. If you want to find the glue and you don't know where to find it, you can go to my Amazon page and go to amazon.com/shop/the Pope of Plastic, amazon.com/shop/the Pope of Plastic. I have all the glues that I use in there. Tamiya Thin, Faller's Expert, Tamiya Cement, JB Super Weld, which is my favorite for gluing rubber to metal or photo etched parts. It took me a long time to find out what the best glue was for photo etched, and in my opinion is JB Super Weld. But anyway, that's my rant on glue. But thanks for asking that, because it gets asked a lot. Just try Tamiya Thin. It works great. And if you get a little bit on the canopy or whatever, you can buff it out. You just use a fine polish, and you can buff it out, and to me, it's the best.
And Tamiya makes some good polishes too.
They do. You can find the Tamiya polishing paste. They even Tamiya sells a polisher, a polishing tool, an electric polishing tool that you can get. But on Amazon, in my store, I have some really inexpensive ones that are handheld polishers, rechargeable. So you just buy the pads. I think the ones in my store come with the pads and everything. So. But anyways, let's open this one up just so we can see.
And Faller is a high-end producer of structure kits for model railroads. Faller.
Oh, Faller's, yes.
And so a hobby shop that would be a Walther's train dealer would be able to get that.
And Walther's, since we're talking about Walther's, I get this question all the time too. We're kind of getting away from the model kit, but I'll just answer this one last thing. Decal solvent. People say, "Oh, what's that? Microsol or whatever," which is just vinegar. I drank it on one of my lives just to prove it was vinegar. The one that you want is Walther's Solvaset. Walther's Solvaset is the best decal solvent in the world. It is the strongest. It will pretty much get any decal into a groove or whatever. But you got to be careful using it. It will ruin your paint. So You have to be very careful to apply it with a Q-tip very gently, but the stuff is magical. So Walther's Solve Set, if you go to the Walther's Train website, you can find Solve Set. Great company. They send me a nice catalog every month, and they're still one of the few companies that still does a catalog.
Very good company.
Very good company. Anyway, let's look at the detail on this. So these are the tires. I love that they have the Continental on the side molded in, and I'm sure this is very, very accurate. We got Continental on the smaller front wheels as well. These are two-part, which doesn't bother me. I'll just glue them together. Usually the fit on these Zoukie Muras is like, when I did the BF109, I had to use 0 putty on it, which absolutely amazed me. What do we got? We got some of the, I don't know. Oh, I bet these are, I'm going to guess these are fuel tanks. That's what I'm going to guess those are. I'm going to guess these are fuel tanks as well. See the, that's going to be my guess. And we got some more linkage and stuff like that. Very, very cool.
That's a beautiful kit.
I don't know. We're gonna get into the. I'm gonna.
This is fantastic.
Isn't this beautiful? I like to do this right after because I'll leave something behind, Steve. Okay, let's get into. Oh yeah, here we go. We're getting into the inside of the cockpit. The other thing I love about their kit is when you're following the instructions, and I'll show you when we get to the instructions, that if you're working on the cockpit, all the parts for the cockpit are usually on one sprue. Tamiya will have you going from, by the time, okay, you're on part 1 assembly. Okay, part A, from the A sprue. Oh, but the control stick's on sprue D. Mm-hmm. The seat is on sprue H. The joystick is on. You know, by the time you're finished, the very first step in the Tamiya kit, you have every single sprue out on the table. Nothing drives me crazier than having 50 sprues for one assembly section. Zoukie Mura, thank you the Lord, they have almost everything on the sprue, on one sprue. If you're doing the cockpit and it looks like this is the cockpit, this is sprue V. So everything is, and look at the seatbelt molding. Look at that. Oh my God, that is awesome. I just noticed that. Look at just the interior of the cockpit, the machine guns. Everything is just, everything is clamtastic, as we like to say in New England. Clamtastic.
Beautiful.
Now look at I love this. This is one of my favorite things, is that they mold all the wing spars.
That's really neat.
You don't have to assemble all of them individually. They do it for you. But the look of it, when you build the model, I mean, you sit back. When I did that BF109 and more fuel tanks, I'm going to guess that's what those are. When you're sitting back and you build this thing and you look at it, you're like, this thing should be in a museum. You know, I mean, it's just incredible how beautiful it looks. And as a model builder, that's what you dream of, being able to see all the inner workings. Like Christmas. I can't tell you how honored I am that they would send this to me. Look at it. I just love it. I just love it. I cannot wait to paint this thing. I get excited about this stuff. You know, when I open a new model, my mind just starts going, you know. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now this is what we want to talk about. This is the engines. Oh, and they give you all, yeah, we gotta look at this. This is the engines. You get 2 of them, 2 identical sprues, it looks like. Here we go, all the engines. But the cool thing about the engines, you're building all the fans for the engine. cool thing is that you're going to be able to see the engine because the panels, you don't have to put the panels on, I don't think. And then you have all of the hydraulic, you know, all the fuel lines, all the oil lines that go onto the engine. And again, all of the parts for the engine are on this one sprue.
And all the turbine blades.
Yeah. We're not going...
You're not getting two halves of a plastic blob and there's your engine.
Yeah, exactly. Or the fans are molded into the, you know, into the nacelle of the engine or whatever.
There's
you know what
no
I mean?
depth.
No depth. No, you have everything here.
It's fantastic.
I mean, it's breathtaking. And this is the exact same thing. So we have duplicate here. Now, let's get to the instructions on this. Because the instructions are going to, if you have not seen the instructions for the Zoukie Mura kit, it's mind-blowing. I have not even opened this yet. The one thing I'll tell you, they always do their decals with cartograph. Artwork by Volks Inc. I guarantee it says cartograph on here somewhere, I would think. Maybe these are not cartograph. These do not look like cartograph. These are digitally printed, not screen printed, which isn't bad as long as the carrier film is good. But I can tell, as somebody who's spent a lifetime in the screen printing industry, these are digitally printed versus, I wish they were cartograph. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish they were cartograph, but I don't think they are. They're digitally printed. Don't worry about it. That's not a big negative. Look at this. They do give you all of the pre-cut masking for the clear parts. I mean, it's all clear parts, but for the windshield, the windscreen, so they're giving you all the die cut parts. Their material for that is really, really good. Here is their catalog. I love that they put a catalog in, just like Tamiya used to do. Here's your one. This is the one I'm building right now. I'm building the Wild Weasel that they sent me. And what a great kit, man. I built a lot of Phantoms, and this thing is going together. 1/48 scale with complete engines. You know what I'm saying? Complete engines. And they give you a little stand if you want to build and have one of the engines outside of the jet. And they give you two sets of exhaust, you know, the exhaust, whatever you call it, fairing or whatever. Mm-hmm. They give you two sets. So if you want to have one outside the jet, you can have it with the exhaust on it. And then because you have two sets, you can do another set on the model so you don't know that the model doesn't have the engine in it. You know what I mean? Which I love.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. Anyway, so 1/48 scale, again, the best Phantoms on the market, period. More 1/48, lots of Phantoms. They do the HO229 in a 1/48 scale. This is an earlier version. The thing that makes this kind of a world premiere of this model kit is that this is the two-seater version. And it's a brand new version of the Horner. And then we get into the one, this is the greatest stuff in the world. 1/32 scale, the best 1/32 scale kits on earth. Just absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to show you the other one that
these would be nice. Sky Raiders.
Oh, unbelievable. Oh, this is the one they sent me right here. The J2M3. I haven't done this kit. I'll be doing it very shortly. But this is the kit, and I tell you, it's equally as beautiful as this. Anyway, so that's your little catalog. Now look at this instruction sheet. It's not an instruction sheet, number one. Look, it's a book. And they do it like a dossier, you know, like a secret manual for the Horner. Like we are seeing the secret aircraft and the secret bunker, and all the scientists and engineers are standing around in a dimly light, you know, because there's bombs going, and they've got this in their hands, and they're saying, we're gonna build the, I can't do a German accent, we're going to do a HO229B, and we will conquer the world. Right? Was that good?
That was good.
Okay, so here we go. So we're going to talk about the history. They got actual photographs. They talk about the power plant, the armament. I love their instructions, man. They are just the best. Full color. These are the different versions that you can do. So they're telling you this to pay attention early on if you're going to do an A version or B version or whatever. And I don't know. I haven't read this yet because it's the first time I'm looking at it. But it's just level 1, assemble is shown in the instruction. Level 2, assembly by carefully following them. Level 3, 3, 1, okay. So we're going to start, again, they show you all the colors that you need, all the tools. Now pay attention to all this. They're very accurate with their paints as to what you should be using. Okay, and the other thing I love about Zoukie Mura, I'm going to show you in a minute, but look how beautiful the engine is. So what they do, before you start assembly, I love this, they show you what the completed section looks like. So I can tell you right now, we're going to be doing the engine. They're showing you what the engine should look like at the end of the build of that section. So you look at this and you go, ooh, ah, and then stare at that for a little bit, and then you're going to go to the first step. Look at the fans you have to put together for the engine. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. You are building the actual engine. And the other thing that Zoukie Mura does, they tell you what all these parts are, not just part A, part B, you know, do this, do that, you know, they tell you what the actual components are. So you are learning history as you are building the model. You are learning history. By the time you are done with this, you can go out into your garage and build a full-size Horton. If you want to.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Sure. So it's just unbelievable. Look at what they do up here. Or maybe they're not doing it. Normal. Oh, no, they've done it down here. See this? Each page, they tell you what paints you need. See that? We talked about this in one of the last videos. Each page tells you what paint you need. So you're not having to thumb back like with Tamiya. I hate to keep putting down Tamiya, but so be it. Going back, and every time you're like, what the hell is paint number 10? Well, I don't know what paint 10 is because I don't have it memorized. You got to go back here. No, paint 10 is black. So you're not having to thumb through every time you're looking for a paint. They're all right here. They're right here. Why don't more people do that?
And like you were saying, everything is A, 29, 30, 31. A46. It's all going to be on the same sprue.
Yes. See?
A41.
Right?
A40.
Right? Isn't that a breath of fresh air? Look at, we are still on the engine. If this was a Aurora kit, we'd already be on the assembling the fuselage. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's so unbelievably detailed. Look at that. If you wanted to buy this model just to have the engines, you know, you'd have a nice, you know, a nice display piece. This is the same thing they did on the Phantom. They give you they provide you with a stand if you want to display the engine outside, which is great. Look at it, and then they show you finished photographs at the end of the section. Look at that, huh? Now, they're going to show you, just like I said before, the next step. They're going to show you what it looks like completed. Look at that. See, this would scare most people to death, right? People would look at that and go, what the hell? Don't get panicked. Their instructions are so well done that I don't want to, a beginner can't, this isn't for a beginner, but somebody with some average experience, the instructions are so good that somebody with some average experience can build something this complicated. They take all of the guesswork because their instructions are so thorough. You're going to be successful as long as you can, put down the booze, have a clear mind, clear head, put down the Satan's lettuce, and have a clear mind, because if your mind is altered in any way, prescription drugs, not allowed. You got to have a clear mind, clear focus to build a model like this. If you can do those things, you're going to be successful.
And accept the fact that it might take several months. You can't rush.
You cannot rush on this. You cannot rush on this. Put the booze down for a month or so. Would it kill you to put the booze down and focus on a model for a couple months? You might find that you actually enjoy something in life instead of walking around in a haze all day long.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So again, look at there's so much to go through here. I'm going to kind of skip ahead, but look at this. I mean, I cannot wait. This stuff gets me going. This is all the framework just for that section. And then we finally get to where we're putting the stuff in the engines in this thing. And then finally, once again, they're going to show you the completed section. And you're going to go like this, and you're going to say, look at what I accomplished. And I got sober in the process. You know what I'm saying? And the family's coming back together. And, And now, so this is the next section. Same thing, rinse and repeat. Again, they're going to walk you through it. All the paints that you need are down at the bottom. Again, next section. Now they got some blow-ups. We're going to do the cockpit now. Oh, my favorite part. Cockpit and engines. Those are my favorite parts. Look at how detailed and how beautiful the control panels are. Now, I'm going to be hand painting these, so I won't pay attention to this. But if you're not good at painting control panels, instrument panels, here you go. You can do it with the decals. You do the clear part. You're going to come out with a gorgeous, gorgeous cockpit. I think it's cheating. You should try to paint. It's cheating to me. I just, if I don't have to use decals, I'm not using decals. Look at how beautiful the cockpit is. Look at that, Steve.
You know, interesting. No photo etch.
You took my thunder. I was going to save that till the end.
Sorry, folks. Disregard what I just said.
Look, now you're in the landing gear. We're going to finish this up anyway. I mean, I know people want to see every single page, but go out and buy the kit. It's worth buying the kit, Look at this.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool to show anyone? It looks like either clear or painted. Look at that. Just unbelievable. And your final painting. Your wing sections. Look at this, just unbelievable. Just fantastic. I mean, just to sit on the toilet and read the instructions.
Fantastic is right.
Your wife will be banging on the door. Well, honey, are you okay? Do you need some Mucilex or whatever that is, or no, honey, I'm all right. I'm just reading the Horton instructions from. Oh, is it another Zoukie Mura kit? Yes, honey. Okay. Well, remember, dinner is at 6. No problem, honey. Right?
That's
Steve?
true. That's true. This is
Anyway.
fantastic. This is quite the instruction book.
I mean, it's a book. It's a book.
I think only War and Peace is longer than
Yeah,
this.
War and Peace. Now, let me say a couple things. Steve alluded to it. Listen, you other model companies, because I'm going to tell you something loud and clear. This is proof you don't need photo etched. You don't need it. If you know how to mold and you have good people to make your molds and everything else, and you invest the time in the engineering, you don't need photo etched. You don't need it. You don't need it. There's nowhere in this kit that you need to add any photo etch to. So stop adding photo etched. Put some time into your engineering like Zoukie Mura does. I know that all of you can't be as good as Zoukie Mura, but you can try. You got to strive to be the best. This is the best. This is why they are the best, in my opinion. And yeah, you say, well, the Pope doesn't know what he's talking about. I built so many freaking models. I think I know what's pretty good and what's, really good. This is exceptional. This is at another level, Steve. Another level.
Oh, that's a fantastic kit.
And let me also say this. If you're intimidated by a kit like this, still buy it, because it is something to aspire to. To open this kit and look at the parts, and maybe you're not ready to build a kit like this, but just get it, read the instructions, study the kit, and eventually after you get a few kits under your belt one day and you put the booze down, you're going to say, you know what, I think I'm going to finally tackle that Zoukie Mura. I got the shakes are gone, I stopped drinking a handle of vodka a day.
Oh yeah.
I think I think I can finally attempt this thing. And you have it. But even if you're just inspired, this will inspire you, a kit like this. This is a kit that collectors want just because they want to open it and look at it. And I don't blame them. I get almost as much fun looking at a kit like this as I do building it. And I'm honored. And I want to say a big thank you to Zoukie Mura and Volks USA for sending this to me, because every time I have a correspondence with them, I'm honored. I'm absolutely, completely honored as a model builder to have any kind of relationship with a company, such as this. And what can I say? I hope I can do it justice. Judging by building the BF-109 and right now working on the F4 Phantom, I don't think I'm going to have any problem with this. The models go together flawless. You just have to pay attention and be able to read. It's good if you know how to read. That's a good thing. So you might want to.
That's important.
Yeah, you might want to know how to read before doing this, and just be careful. And like Steve said, take your time. You don't need to rush through this. This isn't a This isn't a, what would I say? This isn't a, this isn't a Revell submarine that we're building. We're not slapping together a Revell submarine. This is true artwork. This is museum quality. This is what Zoukie Mura stands for. And I'm honored to do this. Thank you for bearing with me on this special unboxing of the Horner Super Wing Series kit, again by Zoukie Mura. I'll have a link in my description where you can check out Zoukie Mura, where you can order one of these, and stay tuned to see me build this. I'll be doing a series of videos on this build. I don't know. I want to badly get this done before the national IPMS show and bring it with me. I don't enter contests. That's not my thing. But I'm hopefully going to bring some models with me so you can see some of the Zoukie Mura builds that I talk about in person. And I'm going to be honored to be with them. And if you were going to be at the IPMS, I think that IMPS or the IPMS?
IPMS.
Yeah, IPMS. If you're going to be there, come by the Zoukie Mura booth and say hello to me and the Zoukie Mura team if I haven't been kicked out of the show by that time. But stop by, say hello. I plan on being on my best behavior. I want to do the people that invited me to go, do them proud. I don't want to embarrass anybody. I don't drink anymore, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to be, dancing with the lampshade on the head kind of thing. Swimming in the pool naked at 2 in the morning, doing stuff like that. You won't see me doing that kind of stuff. But I can't promise. Sometimes my lips get a little loose, but I'll be on my best behavior. All I will say is please like and subscribe. And also I have a little subscription now with the channel, so if you could, you know, it's a little bit of money a month, but I'll be running some contests and things like that. If you want to become a subscriber, I'd appreciate it. It'll help me and my family, and that's always a great help. And yeah, check me out on TikTok, Building Live, almost every single day. And I'm excited. We'll be back next week. We got a special vintage unboxing coming up next week that Harry told me about. He wants me to unbox. I'm not even going to allude to what it is.
I don't even know.
It is, yeah, Steve doesn't even know, but it's going to be an exciting one. So you want to tune in next week for that. Check out all my shorts. I post shorts almost every day of my model builds, so check those out as well. And make sure you go out and reach out to Zoukie Mura Volks USA. Order you one of these. You will not be disappointed. Order anything in their catalog and you are not going to be disappointed. I promise you. If you are disappointed, I will fly to your house. I will come out. I will mow your lawn. I will put up some siding. I will clean the house. I will, you know, give your wife a massage. Whatever you need me to do if I'm wrong about the Zoukie Mura kit. I know I'm not going to be, but just in case I am, I will, that caveat, I will come. I will be your manservant for a week.
Walk the dog.
Walk the dog.
Cut the lawn.
Cut the lawn. Give your wife a massage.
Clean out gutters.
Clean out gutters. Give your wife a massage. You know, cook dinner, whatever. I play guitar, I'll play some romantic music, you know, but if I'm wrong, I don't think I'm going to be wrong, but if I am, that's what I'll do for you. Check back with me here at Harry's Hobbies next week when we do more vintage unboxings from Harry's next Friday. This isn't a vintage kit, this was a first, but this was a special unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next week. See you later, Steve.
See ya.